This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
And welcome everyone to the GSMC Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Jeff Malinoff, and with me is Mark Souza. We have a lot of things to talk about in the world of sports. We'll start off with the Red Sox clinching a World Series appearance, and we'll see who they will be playing with in the coming days as the NLCS is still going on. We'll also talk about the Broncos thoroughly handling the Arizona Cardinals on Thursday night. And we will also discuss LeBron's Laker debut as they faced Portland Trailblazers last night. And in the final segment, we'll talk about anything else in sports that we want to discuss. So we'll start with the Red Sox. They won their game 4-1, won the series 4-1, and are advancing to the World Series. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, the Red Sox, they go ahead and win the fourth game of the series, which is about how many takes.
You mean the fifth game?
It's about how many takes it took us to get this one right here in the morning. So
you meant the fifth game of the series. You said fourth game.
Well, the fourth
Do you want
win.
me to restart this?
The fourth win. So it took us about 4 or 5 takes to get this one right because of me. So I apologize.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Red Sox, man, that was a good game. It was a low-scoring game, but Verlander, I thought he pitched well. I mean, obviously, he's going to get charged with all the runs scored, but David Price just pitched a gem, and I think that was the game that the Red Sox fans have been waiting for.
I think that's what he's been waiting for since he started in the postseason.
He hasn't been a terrible pitcher.
Career.
Yeah, he hasn't been a terrible pitcher by any stretch, but the Red Sox
just couldn't get it done.
That contract they gave him, they've been waiting for that signature performance, and last night was it. I mean, how many innings was it? 6 or 7 did he pitch? And he had 9 Ks, no walks. Man,
he pitched 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, 9 strikeouts.
That is a fire performance from a dude who was pitching in a clincher. So talk about some people say that David Price just doesn't have it, like the big game moment, the big game pitcher. But man, he put some of that to rest yesterday.
Yeah, and the only run actually given was by Barnes, a reliever who was only in for 0.2 innings. After he gave up that hit and run and a walk, he got taken out. He only pitched 21 pitches total. And Price had 93 pitches total in his 6 innings, which is
efficient.
Kind of a lot, all things considered, actually. 93.
Yeah, but 65 of them are strikes. I mean, he's facing a good lineup. The Astros are good at fouling off pitches. They're good at being patient at the plate. So, all things considered, 93 pitches in 6 innings.
You know what did shock me was Mookie Betts. He had 5 appearances at the plate, no hits, and 1 strikeout.
Yeah, he's been struggling a little bit at the plate.
I know that won't affect his MVP status, but also JD Martinez had 2 hits
He had that
himself.
big home run.
Yeah.
He rocked Verlander.
He pretty much affected that big time.
Verlander wishes he didn't throw him that hanger, belt high like he did last night, because JD Martinez is one of those players that does not miss those pitches.
So right now, do you see Mookie Betts as the MVP or JD Martinez as the MVP of the season?
For the season, I got Mookie Betts. I
Still got Betts?
I think so.
I just always think when they do the MVP voting and all that stuff, I feel like they put their postseason performance into consideration, even though it's not.
I think it's impossible to not. It's human nature, right?
Just to see how they played at the end of the season.
But when you think about stuff, whether it's baseball, whether it's a player, whether it's a team, you always kind of think of what they did last and then kind of move on from there. So, I mean, if you were a voter, Jeff, you can probably say, oh, I don't take that in consideration. But we all know, your opinions of things can change. It's a fluid thing, so who knows?
And neither of them got the ALCS MVP. That went to Jackie Bradley Jr., who took that home himself. He only had 3 hits in the championship series, but they were pretty
grand slam.
Yeah, I was about to say they're pretty important hits.
Yeah, and I think it was just a comprehensive performance by the Red Sox. It's not like Jackie Bradley Jr. won it, but like if you told me 5 different names right there, I probably would have been like, okay, I can see it.
In this game, in Game 5, he had 3 at bats with no hits, and he walked once.
Yeah, he wasn't really a factor yesterday.
But that grand slam, I think, regardless of who hit that grand slam, I think they were going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it was a big one.
It's just one of those things where like if a guy hits 3 home runs in one series, he's getting the MVP, regardless how he did in the rest of the games.
There was almost another fan interference play yesterday as Mookie Betts caught a deep shot by Bregman. Luckily, this time there wasn't any controversy as it was a clean catch.
I feel like they were like, I'm not going to touch this. I'm not going to touch this. I've seen what happens. I don't want to become Steve Bartman.
Yeah, maybe so. So, yeah, impressive win by the Red Sox.
Steve Bartman, too.
So I think we both had the Red Sox winning this series, right? Or did you have the Astros?
I think I had the Astros, but I was still thinking the Red Sox were going to take it. I just I was saying let's not take out the Astros all consideration.
I think regardless, I think both of us are surprised to see that it only went 5 games.
I think we both expected 6 and 7.
I said Red Sox and 7 for sure.
I think I said 6 or 7 myself, but yeah, 5 games, really put an exclamation point on how good the Red Sox really are.
Yeah, it really highlights that. I mean, we're talking about an Astros team that, all year we've been
defending champions.
Yeah, all year we've been talking about how good the Red Sox have been, but the Astros won 5 less games than the Red Sox. They had, a few more bounces go their way.
Much when you think about it.
No, you're right. A few bounces go your way. A pitcher misses a strike zone and walks ball 4 on bases loaded to lose a game. You know what I mean? These little tiny things. That's 5 wins right there. So the Astros had an impressive season in their own right, and they're, like you mentioned, the defending champions. So, Boston had their hands full in the series, but they handled them pretty well.
Right. And something I need to ask you is, when you look at the Red Sox in the World Series, 108 wins, does either the Dodgers or the Brewers, whoever wins this NLCS, have a chance? Because of how good the Red Sox are right now, with 2 potential AL MVPs and some great pitching?
I don't think that the NL champion will have a chance. I just can't. I can't see the Red Sox not winning this. I felt like, I think we kind of talked about it before, and you might agree with me, but I think the Astros-Red Sox was the biggest series in this postseason. That winner would determine the champion. And I can't say that my opinion has changed with seeing how well the Red Sox played this series.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I want to say to the Astros fan base, there's literally nothing to worry about. You'll be back very soon.
Your team is super young.
Your team is young. They're strong. They're not going anywhere unless your GM hits a self-destruct button.
They got pitching. Yeah. Their core of Correa, Altuve, Bregman, that's a really solid
put
trio.
That against any other trio in the league. If there is any other trio that can compete with them.
And Correa wasn't even at his best. When that guy is on, the Astros can be scary for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, so there's really nothing to worry about.
We saw Altuve injured too, you know what I mean? He was horrible.
It is disappointing, of course, if you're an Astros fan and seeing them lose, but you guys should not be worried about your future. Your future is looking brighter than ever. This team is probably having the best future. If you're looking at 5 years down the road, they're still competing probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that this was Verlander's last game?
Maybe he should have retired last season.
He was good though,
I know, but you go off on the highest of notes, not the kind of a low note that was his performance.
Yeah,
he didn't have a bad performance. He just didn't get the win.
No, he's going to take the loss, but it wasn't like he had a terrible game. He just got outpitched. His opposition, the pitcher opposing him, just had a gem. And sometimes that just happens in baseball.
Was the guy we least expected to have a gem.
And baseball is one of those sports too, where like when you're pitching, you really, especially in the American League, you don't even have a chance to go up to bat, so you really can't help what the other pitcher does. I mean, your teammates can help you. Your teammates go up to bat, but I mean, you can't really affect that opposing pitcher if he's focused and he's in the zone. You know how MLB pitchers are. We talk about who's the best pitcher in baseball and things like that, but if you're honest, any guy in the league can be the best pitcher on any given night. It just takes that one game when all your stuff is working, when your confidence is high, when you're missing bats, and we see it. We see pitchers who aren't very good, and then they have, awesome 8-inning games of 3 or 4 hits, no runs, and then you see the next game that give up 5 or 6 runs, and nothing against Verlander. I thought, he was their best pitcher for this season, in my opinion, so at least starting pitcher. But the Red Sox, man, David Price, that was a heck of a game.
Do you think it still haunts him? Like, just talking about Verlander, when they were in the World Series in 2012 and he gave up those 2 of the home runs to Pablo Sandoval. And remember how good everyone said he was, and he was like the ace of aces and all this stuff.
He won the Cy Young that year, did he?
Yeah, and they kind of like almost ruined his like reputation in that one series alone.
Yeah, but he's got that. He's got past that.
Mm-hmm. I know he's moved on from that, but I hope that didn't like going through his brain and haunt him as that game was continuing on and they were losing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We talk about
his
how
gorgeous
good
wife was helping him.
Another note on the Astros is, we talked about the Red Sox and how good the division was and how great it is to win that many games against those teams, but the Astros had a really tough division too. The AL West was nothing to scoff at. So, again, I think we saw the 2 best teams in baseball this series. And
I agree with that.
And I know we're talking about. I know you've mentioned it before too. Like, it's the postseason is a different season. It's whoever gets hot. Like, your record doesn't matter, and that's true. But the way that the Red Sox are handling these teams, they handled New York. They handled Houston. Are they the hottest team right now?
You can't deny it.
The Red Sox or the Dodgers and the Brewers is a scrappy series, but it seems like the pendulum keeps swinging back and forth.
The thing is, we said at the beginning of the postseason, the team with the most momentum is going to go the farthest.
Yeah.
And we thought that was the Brewers at first.
At first, yeah. And
now it's totally changed to the Red Sox, which I know it sounds cliche because of the best team in baseball at the moment, but they got the most momentum also. It's really, you can even see them sweeping the next series and not thinking twice about it.
Yeah, now they're going to get Sale back. Like, Sale couldn't pitch this last game. He had that, what was it, like a virus that he had or something like that. So with that being said, he didn't even play a big part in this series. And now you're getting your ace back. It sounds like he's going to be ready for game 1, no matter when that is. And we will find out when that is, because the Dodgers and the Brewers, they face off tonight. Jeff, we should talk about that before we go to a little break here. But, the Dodgers, they were down 2-1 in the series. They win their last 2 games really quickly because of that. That game 4 was the extra inning game that lasted very late, and then the next game, game 5, that early afternoon game. So, do the Dodgers close it out tonight?
There is a very good possibility of this.
Miley against Ryu. It sounds like Miley will actually pitch tonight, not just be the fake.
Do we know
pitcher
anymore? I don't think we even know. I think he's going to pitch 2 pitches, and then Council's going to take him out again.
Oh, God.
And hope for game of 7.
Well, imagine if he does that and then it blows up in his face.
I was kidding. I hope he doesn't actually do that.
Just imagine.
And tomorrow is, if necessary, let me ask you this. If the Brewers handle this game and make it go to a 7, do you give them the momentum?
Yeah, for sure. The Brewers, they haven't been here before, quote unquote, but
yeah, they have. Back in the 80s. Well, no, actually in 2011.
These players.
Oh, well, Ryan Braun in 2011 was on the team that went to the NLCS.
Yeah. But I mean, you know what I mean.
Sorry to totally
No, it's cool. But you know what I'm saying. The Dodgers their team is more experienced in pressure games like that.
Well,
but
they went to the World Series last year, so this is a lot of the same guys from that World Series team. Granted, they lost, but they still have that experience.
Right. So I think that tonight's the pivotal game. Whoever wins tonight, I mean, obviously the Dodgers win, the series is over, but if the Brewers win, I do not see them losing Game 7.
Yeah. Well, when the 2011 NLCS, when they were facing the Cardinals going to the World Series, they did lose in 6 games. So is history going to repeat itself again? We'll see.
Yeah, so, and also the Brewers think that the Dodgers are stealing their signs. So yes, the latest in cheating in baseball. What do you say about that?
There is a lot of cheating in baseball so far. Over the last, week, there's been accusing of multiple teams cheating, and 2 of them were in the ALCS.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate because, I mean, this is such a good postseason. I mean, we have such great teams. I don't know, man. I wish that it wasn't being talked about so much, but of course, here we are. So, who do you like tonight, and what do you think the score will be?
Well, Miley has something to prove, I feel like, because he's basically their ace. They're considered their ace by Kirk Counsell, of course, and he needs to come in clutch for his team in Game 6 to even give him a chance to go to the World Series for a Game 7. And we did talk how this game was probably going to go to... This series was probably going to go to 7. We both agreed on that. And it's like a bittersweet thing because if you go to that World Series, you're facing the best team in baseball. Maybe you can put them against any other team in baseball history. You probably could with how good this team is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the Dodgers, are you looking too far ahead, or are you thinking we got to win this game and they were facing the 108-win Red Sox?
I don't think the Dodgers will be looking ahead. I think they'll be focused.
They just they've had that happen where they have looked too far ahead though.
Mm-hmm.
You can see in the players where once a series is at the end they kind of lacklusterly go on.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think the Dodgers are a pretty disciplined team, but we'll see. I like the Brewers tonight. What about you?
I like the Brewers also, but I'm not ruling the Dodgers out by any means. I wouldn't be surprised how the team takes it, but I will have the Brewers taking this. I'm going to say Miley pitches at least 7 innings.
Brewers 6-3.
Brewers 6-3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just stop that.
So we should take a break.
Yes, we should take a break. When we get back, we'll talk about the Broncos and Cardinals on Thursday Night Football.
I told you it was going to be a great game.
Yeah, we'll get more on that and see how wrong you really are when we get back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. We just finished talking about the matchup in the ALCS where the Red Sox advanced to the World Series, as well as the NLCS Game 6 matchup that's happening tonight between the Brewers and the Dodgers. Now we're moving on to Thursday Night Football. I almost said Monday Night Football. It's Thursday Night Football, and we saw one team show up and the other did not.
Yeah, you can say that again. That game was over early.
One team showed up, the other did not. I said it again.
I tried telling everybody that this is going to be a Cardinals win, entertaining game, and boy,
were you wrong.
Although I think it was a little bit entertaining. It was entertaining to see the Cardinals fall on their face every 2 seconds, because at some point it just becomes a comedy. Mistake after mistake after mistake. What do you think about last night's game?
Well, there were 2 pick sixes out of the 3 interceptions Josh Rosen threw.
And it wasn't by Keenum. Keenum is your guy, right? Like, Keenum is the pick six.
I didn't.
You don't like him?
No, I never thought of him as a pick six guy. That's
But
Peterman.
like, he's kind of shaky.
That's Nathan Peterman. Case Keenum was just. Well, we talked about this. He had one great season with the Minnesota Vikings, but he had a great team around him, and you can't expect him to do great every single year for a journeyman.
Do you think that Josh Rosen threw 2 pick sixes in protest that Nathan Peterman wasn't starting this weekend? He's like, hey, he should start, and because he's not, I'll show them.
No, I don't think he cares. And I'm looking at the stats right now, and I looked at multiple sources. Bleach Report has the funniest resource to me because they show Josh Rosen's stats, and at quarterback rating, they don't even give me a number. They give me the emoji where you're
So laughing or what?
No, it's the one that has their eyes rolling.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah,
one
but when you're
up,
looking up, yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh, that's the rate. I'll show Mark right now. He sees
That's great. Man.
Yeah, that's pretty insulting if you ask me, but it's true. His rating was an actual joke.
So the Broncos showed up. The Cardinals did not. What was it? The first.
Well, let's be honest.
The
both
first drive, the Cardinals called a timeout on the second play of the game.
Yeah, that was
now
weird.
you knew, like.
I was like, this team has no idea what it's doing.
Yeah, you know, because teams usually script the first 10 plays, 15
and
plays.
we were talking about the rushing game that needed to happen, and you said David Johnson.
150 yards I predicted for David Johnson, and he had, 25?
14 attempts, 39 yards, 2.8 average.
All right. So I was really wrong about last night's game, but
Could not have been more wrong.
I could have been more wrong. If I was more wrong, you know what my name would be? Mike McCoy, the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. Let's talk about him for a minute. Let me go on a rant.
Have to?
I'm going to go on a rant. Can
Okay.
Can you let me do this?
Absolutely.
I've been thinking about this.
Rant's
Mike
over.
McCoy,
Kidding.
you are the offensive coordinator. Their coach, Wilkes, is a defensive-minded coach, right? He chooses Mike McCoy to be his offensive coordinator. He gives him a rookie quarterback to mold. You have a great older wide receiver in Larry Fitzgerald. You have one of the most dynamic running backs in the NFL named David Johnson, who's not just an inside runner, Mike. He can get outside. The guy can get in space. He's super fast. He's big. And even though you're letting me talk right now, Jeff, I think you'll agree with me that David Johnson is fast, quick, versatile. And the way that they use him, it's just a joke, man. And this team, the Cardinals are a joke. Until they fire Mike McCoy, they're the worst team in the NFL, in my opinion. This team needs a fresh start at offensive coordinator. You cannot start the game, take a timeout in the second play of the game. Your quarterback is throwing pick sixes. Then it's fourth quarter. You're down by 32 points. What are you doing with your franchise quarterback in the game, dropping back and taking unnecessary punishment, taking sacks from the blind side? This is insane. You let your quarterback stay out there, take hit after hit, and the only justification or the only reason that I can think of that Mike McCoy left his quarterback out there and that game plan was that Mike McCoy started the Denver defense on his fantasy football team, because that is the only justification for what I saw last night.
Dude, breathe. Take a deep breath. Wow, I did not expect that much of a rant.
So
Deservingly
Mike McCoy's
so.
fantasy football team is winning.
Okay. Just get it all out of your system.
I'm good.
Okay, wow. I did not know you had that much passion about the Arizona Cardinals. or just about their offensive scheme.
I just can't believe that this man is calling plays for this team. Like,
They're
they need to
last-
fire him
They
today.
are last in total offense for a reason. my
Fire
friend.
him today.
We'll see in a few hours if that actually is the case. But, the other offense, the Denver offense didn't have anything good for them either.
I mean,
Case
they were
Keenum-
fine, but they didn't have to even show up. Like,
You want to hear something? Josh Rosen had more passing yards than Case Keenum did.
what was the score between the Denver defense versus the entire Arizona Cardinals? They still won. The offense could have stayed in Denver.
Yeah, there was 2 pick sixes that would have sealed it already.
14-10. Denver's
Yeah.
defense beats the Arizona Cardinals.
There were 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns by 2 different players. Emmanuel Sanders had 1 touchdown pass. And his QB rating on Bleach Report is a GOAT. So as in he's the greatest.
I think there's a quarterback controversy in Denver. What do you think?
Emmanuel Sanders and Case Keenum, sure.
He almost missed it, though.
Oh,
Did
look
you
at-
see it? Did you see the
Yeah,
touchdown? He
it was-
almost threw it too hard.
Yeah, thank God.
Cortland Sutton.
He had to run so hard. He was probably like, oh God.
Cortland Sutton's like, I'm so wide open right now. And then he was like, Jesus, man.
Emmanuel Sanders had a pretty good receiving game, too. Seven
He had a
targets.
good game, for sure.
He was targeted 7 times, caught 6 of them, 102 yards, averaged 17 yards a
That's
catch,
efficient right there.
with only 1 touchdown, though. Could have had more.
He could have had more, but he threw one. So, if you fantasy players out there
and
love him.
Sutton, who Emmanuel Sanders threw to, only had 1 reception that game, and that was the 28-yard touchdown pass.
Who knew that his only catch of the game would be from a wide receiver, not from a quarterback, right?
Yeah. But
Philip Lindsay had a good game, though. They ran the ball. I mean,
14 attempts for 90 yards.
That's good.
I would take a 6.4 average. He had a 28-yard run.
He's a
in
good
the middle of
player.
it, too. Yeah. But looking at both quarterbacks, Case Keenum went 14 of 21 with 161 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Josh Rosen went 21 of 39 with 194 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. So I know 3 picks versus 1 pick is a big difference, but when one gets 194 yards, 101 gets 161 yards, obviously the quarterbacks were not a huge factor in this game. When you get under 200 yards in a game for a quarterback, and especially in this time where passing is critical, that's not very good.
I was laughing too because Von Miller all week. I mean, it's a short week, but he was talking about how they were going to come in Arizona and
He had
lay
2
it on
forced
them.
fumbles.
But he talked about it. He was like, "We're coming in there and we're going to lay it on them." Yeah, Josh Rosen was sacked 6 times. He was hit 13 times. He lost the football. He fumbled twice. He got the ball knocked out of his hand. In addition to his 2 pick sixes, look, I don't think he played a very good game, but I don't think that he was ever put in a position to succeed. This game is solely on the coaching staff. I give them full blame for this game. And say what you want about the rookie quarterback and his struggles on primetime, but man, what was he supposed to do? Who was he throwing the ball to? I get it. His second pick, that second pick 6 was not his fault. The wide receiver stops running the route and the defender catches the ball.
You blaming the offensive coordinator again?
No, that one's not on the offensive coordinator, but the game plan is on the offensive coordinator. If you look at the chart of his runs, it's actually embarrassing. And for all of you
You're
out
really
there,
angry at Arizona, aren't you?
no. For all of you out there, you can find on Twitter the chart of David Johnson's rushing. This is absolutely embarrassing. Every time he's running the ball up the middle. They have no
4
offensive
or 5
line.
outside runs this season.
He has an offensive line that can't run block, Jeff, and they still give him the ball and say run straight. Man, David Johnson's fast. Toss it to him outside. Let the guy get in space. Throw him a screen pass every once in a while. I don't think it's rocket science. Do you think it's rocket science? Because I surely don't.
It's not.
Am I saying anybody can be an offensive coordinator? No. But I'm saying that principles should be followed. This is my best player. I'm going to find a way to get him the ball in this part of the field, on this part of the field. I mean, do you think that's reasonable?
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable.
I mean, can we throw him a screen pass? Can we toss him the ball every once in a while? We don't have to just turn around and hand him the ball and say run straight because our linemen cannot block anyway, so you're going to have to dodge tacklers in the backfield.
Did you have a rough time watching this game? It sounds like you had a rough time watching this game.
I mean, it was comical. It was funny. This game provided...
You sound like all the Arizona Cardinals fans that had to witness this game.
When you go mad and you just start laughing? That's how I was watching this game.
You know what this reminds me of? It's like, remember that movie Clockwork Orange?
Yes.
It's like when the guy is in his chair and he's strapped and he has his eyes, he's forced to watch. He goes, "Stop it, I beg you." That's Arizona Cardinals fans in this game.
Does Mike McCoy... He deserves to be done, right? I mean, he's the OC for the worst offense in football, but then you do that. That's egregious.
Yeah. Who's gonna else take that job right now? I think it's Can you fire an offensive coordinator in the middle of a season?
So this is the problem. This is one problem about hiring a defensive head coach, and that is Mike McCoy was the most accomplished person on that staff in terms of offensive coordinator. So you fire him, now what? You get a position coach to be the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach. It's not going to be the head coach. It's not going to be Wilkes.
The thing is, with firing a coach in the middle of the season, you got to have at least an idea where you're going. Like, you should be interviewing guys on the side or like knowing where you're going to go with the job offer as soon as he's fired. Because if you fire him and have no idea what you're going to do after that, your team's dead in the water for the next couple of weeks.
So Steve Wilkes said that he summed up the game as unacceptable.
No, unacceptable. Gosh, I mean, what could they have done
better?
This
was 6 games in a row the Cardinals had less than 300 yards of offense. They had 223. God, it's just so bad. I mean... And then there was a point in the game, I'm trying to remember exactly, but it was in the late second quarter where the Cardinals were already down by 3 touchdowns, and they had a 4th and 2 at like midfield, and they punted. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, when are you gonna go for it?
That was them giving up.
But are you gonna wait? Okay, so let's take that theory. Let's take your theory of them giving up. Why was Rosen still in the game when they're down 42-10 taking shots? They should have their back and forth.
Sam Bradford would have been in.
Yeah, I don't even think he suited up.
I mean, who else is on that team?
I don't even know who's.
I was going to say Blaine Gabbert, but he's on
quarterback.
Tennessee now.
But yeah, there was even guys holding signs last night that said that they would like McCoy gone. So
can you blame him after that performance?
Yeah, but I think that's all we're going to talk about. I mean, we pretty much just only talked about how bad the Arizona Cardinals are. Let's hope we don't have to see that on primetime again. What do you think?
I guess.
Here's my opinion. If you're a bad sports team, at least be entertaining, right? Like lose, but lose in like fun fashion, like how the Buccaneers lose. Like it's like 45-38, you know? Mm-hmm. Don't throw 2 pick sixes and have the game be over in the first quarter. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So we should probably take a break, huh? I'm sweating over here.
Yeah, he's pretty heated. I gotta get him like.
I'll tell you right now. I can probably call better plays than Mike McCoy. So Steve Wilkes, holler at me. I'm open.
I think my niece could, and she's like 3 months.
I'll
old.
interview for sure. I'll take less pay than what you're paying McCoy.
Okay, yeah. My nieces could probably call better plays than they were born.
Anybody who plays Madden will call better plays than what we saw last night.
You just ask Madden. That's usually how that works.
Yeah, if McCoy was up in the booth, he could just hit Ask Madden. Oh, okay, maybe. And it would probably say toss outside to David
Madden
Johnson.
Was not all like controversial and like everyone hated it. People hate it now. People
hate so many things.
Well, they hate Madden because it's the same game every year, supposedly.
Yeah, other games are too. That people say that about the next Fortnite or whatnot.
The next Fortnite? What are you talking about? We'll get into that. We'll talk about that.
I'm not saying there's a new game. Don't get too excited.
Okay, I was like, is there a Fortnite 2? Anyways, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we'll talk about LeBron's debut in LA against the Portland Trailblazers, and we'll get more on that when we return.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA, from the UFC to extreme cage fighting. They got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back, everyone, to the GSMC Sports Podcast. We just finished talking about the Thursday night football matchup between the Cardinals and Broncos and the rant of the day by Mark Souza. And we also talked about the NLCS.
Fire McCoy.
We also talked about the NLCS between the Brewers and Dodgers that's happening tonight, as well as the Red Sox advancing to the World Series after their Game 5 victory over the Houston Astros. Now we're moving on to basketball as LeBron James, his first regular season game as a Laker, they faced the Portland Trailblazers in a losing effort, 128-119. And LeBron, yes, he did have 26 points, but facing a pretty good team in the Portland Trailblazers, that wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't. And I think that if you were skeptical about the Lakers coming into the season with the roster that they have assembled, with the new faces, I think if you were skeptical before, I think this game would definitely not quell those thoughts, because they did not shoot the three ball. People will say, well, they're trying a different style to overtake the Warriors and the best teams in the league. They're going against the grain a little bit. They don't really care to play with a lot of three-pointers and things like that. But the fact of the matter is that you can't get out-rebounded, and you can't lose that badly in the three-point battle and think that you're going to win on most nights. It's just I don't think it's feasible. So if you were worried about the Lakers and how they would do against the top Western Conference teams last night, it would make you, just as worried moving forward.
LeBron led his team in points and rebounds, 26 points, 12 as rebounds. He only didn't lead him in assists because Rajon Rondo was on the team, and he had 11 assists. And looking at all the players, it kind of was frustrating. I would say it's frustrating for LeBron when he is quite possibly their only weapon they have they can utilize very well.
Let's just say that last night, for Lakers fans, I would hope that it was a weird game, and that's not indicative to how the season is going to go. And I don't just mean the box score, but if Rajon Rondo is going to play 32 minutes and Lonzo Ball is going to get 19 minutes, I think that's a problem. In my opinion, I don't think Rondo's a terrible basketball player.
No, not in the slightest.
And he puts up point guard. He puts up a lot of empty numbers. He's a guy who his stats get padded a lot, especially his rebounding numbers. But
his assists don't. He
sometimes. But regardless, he's not a great NBA point guard. He's a decent NBA point guard. But Lonzo Ball, they picked him at the number 2 pick, and whatever you feel about him, he had a decent rookie season. And I don't think that this is a good idea moving forward to have him playing well behind Rajon Rondo. And you can't play them both at the same time because they both are too similar. They can't shoot from the outside. They're both playmakers. They need the ball in their hands so they can set up teammates. But it's hard to have 2 point guards out there at the same time if neither of them can shoot the ball. So you're not going to see them on the court together a lot. You're not going to see them on the court together with LeBron James a lot. But, man, I just feel like Lonzo Ball's going to play a little bit more. What do you think?
I do think so as well. But I think I want to ask you an important... Well, I'll continue with the Lonzo Ball thing. He was the number 2 pick. He had a decent rookie season. Do you start him? Do you not? Well, you gave him 19 minutes.
I don't even care if you start him or not, but like he needs to play. I think he needs to play as much as Rondo, at least as much as Rondo.
Maybe have Rondo play the 19 minutes and have
I mean,
play the 30s
there's
too.
nothing wrong with being the leader from the second unit. You know, being that sixth man, being the second point guard, coming in and really taking control. But I don't know, man. If Rondo's going to be playing 32 minutes a night and Alonzo Ball's going to get 19, I think that's kind of stunting the growth of the Lakers, if that makes sense. Because we know what Rondo is, and he's a decent player, but Lonzo Ball hasn't tapped his ceiling yet.
And
He has a lot of
at the end
potential.
of his career.
Exactly. So
The thing is with the Los Angeles Lakers, we did talk about this yesterday, how LeBron was going to have limited minutes than he has in the past, like in the 30s. And he only played 37 minutes compared to usually his like 45. And
yeah. I mean, he played a lot, though. 37 minutes is a lot.
I know, but compared to what he used to do in Cleveland and Miami.
But
that's not much.
I mean, the Lakers they're not going to burn him out. And the fact is that in the Western Conference, it's a different animal than the East. So there's not going to be as many games where LeBron's going to be able to take it easy in the West. So, but with that being said, you don't want to
have known that going into the Lakers.
No, he knew that. He knew the challenges ahead, but with that being said, he knows that he's not going to play 42, 43 minutes a night because, okay, so you play the Blazers today, and then you play the Rockets tomorrow, and then you play the Spurs on Monday. You know what I mean? Like, you can't burn yourself out this early in the year, and I think all season that's going to be the challenge for Luke Walton is to not burn him out. See if there's games where he can maybe play him 25 to 30 minutes where they play maybe an easier team. I think we're going to see a lot of that from the Lakers. We're going to see them trying to get LeBron 5-6 minutes here and there to rest all season long.
Yes, I do agree with that. But the question, I think, is now you've seen this game, is it overreaction to say this team might not make the playoffs?
I think that's an overreaction. Portland and the Lakers.
That's why I asked the question.
Portland is a team that's a playoff contender. They could make the playoffs. They could not. They're like right on the bubble for me. But
like 8th seed?
Yeah, I mean, I did pick them as my 8th seed, but I did pick the Lakers as my 4th seed. So I don't think that this game says to me that the Lakers can't make the playoffs. But what I do think this game says,
we did prematurely put them high up in the Western Conference.
I mean, we'll see. We're not going to overreact on. When we do
I'm going to overreact.
When we do this on Monday, we could be talking about how great they looked against Houston.
Oh, what, you can overreact about Mike McCoy. I can't overreact about the Lakers.
Yeah, because Mike McCoy, this is 6 games in a row. That's half the damn season that the Cardinals are just falling on their own faces. Like, come on. But the Lakers, 1 game at 82. But what we did notice, 7 out of 30 from 3-point range. The Lakers, they're not going to be able to win these games if they shoot that poorly from 3. They just can't. They're not going to be able to be ahead in games where they're going to be able just to go to the rim and get 2-pointers. There's going to be games where they're down 8 points. There's going to be games where they're down 10 points. They're going to have to shoot their way back in. And if you can't shoot from the outside, you make it extremely difficult for even your other scores to happen, or your other baskets to happen. It's harder to penetrate through the lane when the other team does not respect your 3-point shooting. So they don't have to be a great 3-point shooting team, Jeff, but they have to be an adequate 3-point shooting team if they want to be a top seed, a top 4, top 5 seed in the playoffs, or even make the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. This team may be exciting with LeBron James, but we can both agree this is flawed. This team has a lot of flaws. I
mean, the other team made 6 more 3-pointers than you. The Blazers were 13 to 37, which isn't a great percentage, but it's fine. It's average. It's 35%. But they shot at an average 3-point level where the Lakers were below average at 23%. And look, a difference of 6 3-pointers, that's 18 points. The Lakers lost by 9. They got out-rebounded by 8. I mean, they're going to have to do better than that, and it is early. The team is going to need some time to adjust, to gel. Some growing pains will happen, but this is Portland we're talking about. Imagine if they had played the Warriors last night or the Rockets, or a team that could really shoot the 3-ball. I mean, Nick Stauskas ain't going to go 7 or 5 out of 8 from 3 all the time, but, he can on some nights. So
yeah, but one of the main things I have to say is that the Blazers have played together for a long time. Like this is
True.
This team is not like a brand new team. These guys are not just playing together. These guys have been playing together for years. CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard.
And they got a pretty decent
specifically.
bench. I mean, they have
great chemistry on the court, and sometimes that's all you need to win games.
Yeah, and I just mentioned it, but Stauskas had one of the best games of his NBA career, to be honest with you. He was on fire last night, but regardless, you make a good point. The Blazers have, I wouldn't say a great team, but they have an experienced team. They have a team that's used to playing with each other. Lillard and McCollum, they did enough last night. Lillard especially, when that fourth quarter hits, it's Lillard time. He's one of the best fourth quarter players in the NBA. He showed it again last night, just scoring at will. Another good game. 28 points for him, 6 boards, 4 assists. But it was when he scored, I think, was more impressive than how much he scored. But if we're being honest, what's the Blazers' ceiling is probably what, like the 4th or like the 5th or 6th seed, and they're probably like an 8th or a 9th seed in the West. Would you say?
Yeah, that. Well, I think they could just squeeze into a playoff spot. I think that's still possible.
What's their high, though? Like, what's the best?
I'll give them a 6th seed.
Like, if everything goes right, like Zach Collins develops into a really good forward, like Stauskas is good every night. Not great, but like he's a bonus off the bench, like 6th seed.
Yeah.
And they stay healthy, which is a tough thing for them because Lillard and McCollum, they usually get beat up.
Yeah, it's not like a guarantee like this team's going to make the playoffs, but they do have good chemistry on the court, and this shows, and this team can be good, but they're in such a difficult conference, the Western Conference, that it's not going to be easy. If they were in the Eastern Conference, maybe a different story, maybe even like a 3 seed, to be honest. But overall, the fact is they're in the toughest conference in the league, and it's not going to be easy.
The Lakers losing that game last night makes tomorrow's matchup against the Rockets even that more interesting to me because both teams started off poorly in the season. The Rockets got manhandled by the Pelicans, and then the Lakers got taken care of by Portland, albeit not the worst teams to lose to, but now with the Lakers home opener tomorrow, LeBron's first regular season game as a Laker in LA against James Harden. Is that a big game for the Lakers? I know it's early in the season, but does that feel like it's more important than just the number 2 game of the season?
Yeah, like I feel like even if there's 82 games in this season, I feel like there's still going to be a lot of
it's kind of like a point to prove, right? Like you want to, if you're the Lakers, you want to like win and be like, look, we're a for real team. Like we're not just out here with a bunch of names. Like we could do some damage.
Yeah, but again, like LeBron said, 1 of 82. So we'll see how things transcribe going into like even the All-Star break, and then afterwards, there's still tons of basketball to be played, but who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, and he talked about like the team chemistry. Like it's not. I think his quote was, "It's not like quote unquote instant oatmeal."
Oatmeal.
Yeah, that's what he said. But you'd say that too if you lost the first game of the season, right? Like anybody would be like, "Hey, it's 1 out of 82. Like we'll be fine," But sometimes teams aren't fine. So
yeah, especially when they're in the Western Conference.
Yeah,
and they're not the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, so what do you think about going to a break?
I'd love to. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, it's our 4th and final segment. We literally discuss anything else we want to talk about regarding sports, and we'll get right on that when we return.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the final segment of the GSMC Sport Podcast. We've talked about the World Series appearance for the Red Sox as well as the NLCS Game 6 that's happening tonight. We've talked about the Thursday Night Football massacre between the Broncos and the Arizona Cardinals and the beautiful rant of my host and my friend, Mark Souza.
They fired McCoy yet? It's been like 20 minutes.
It's only a matter of time. And then we also had LeBron James' debut in a losing effort for the Lakers as they lost to the Blazers. And now we're moving on to our final segment, which I think we should be talking about Week 7 of the NFL season. We'll just do our quick, if you want to hear our more detailed predictions of Week 7, you can turn to our football podcast. That's happening today also. But right now, let's go quickly. Let's just do this nice and quick. How about that?
Cool.
All right, we'll go first game.
We're not doing predictions though, right? We're just talking a little bit about the game.
Yeah, we can do predictions if you will. We just say quickly who we think is going to win. If we don't say
scores.
Yeah,
that's fine.
All right. Titans, Chargers.
Chargers.
Yes, Chargers are a Super Bowl contender.
Can't trust that Titans offense.
But yesterday we did talk about the problem that the Chargers are dealing with in Los Angeles and where they're going to be by next season, if they're even going to be in LA or are they going to stay in LA. But actually, we did get word last night that the LA Chargers have signed a 20-year lease with the LA Rams. So they're going to be in LA into at least 2040.
Yeah, we'll see.
No,
I don't know.
As of right now, they have a 20-year lease.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
You don't mean anything. Anyways.
The NFL owners would be like, nah, you guys can just move.
Yeah, but
we'll see.
As of right now, they're there for 20 years. And Bills and Colts.
Bills and Colts. Colts are going to win.
Good Lord. This game's terrible.
The worst thing about this game is that we don't get to watch Nathan Peterman throw the ball to the other team a few times. So
it's going to be Derek Anderson instead.
He probably will throw the ball to the other team too. So Colts.
Well, you have the Colts on your fantasy team, don't you? The defense.
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't.
Yeah, you do. You've been telling me that all week. And now we're so you say Colts. I also say Colts. I also say Chargers. Browns and Buccaneers.
Browns and Buccaneers.
I'm going Browns.
Wow, that's just the most exciting game on the slate.
I'm going Browns.
You're going Browns or Bucks?
Browns.
I'm going to say Tampa Bay.
Okay. Rams and 49ers.
I mean,
do we even
CJ Beathard will lead that team. They're going to knock off the Rams for their first for the Rams' first loss.
Reggie Wayne did say that on ESPN. I believe it was
Upset
ESPN.
Special.
Yeah, he said the Rams are going to lose the 49ers because they underestimate them. And the 49ers do have a good offense, granted, but it's the Rams are 6-0 for a reason. They're the number one offense in the league.
Shanny versus McVay.
It's the Rams. They're going to win. Let's get real here.
Niners.
Yeah, it's the Rams. Looking at the Lions and Dolphins, I got the Dolphins.
You have the Dolphins, huh? Why is that? Is it because of their awesome quarterback named Brock Osweiler?
I forgot about it.
The Brock Lobster.
Stop talking. Just stop talking.
Welcome to the Brock.
Shut it. Shut your face. Keep it shut.
Halloween is in Brocktober.
Do you say that when you're talking to your wife also?
I say, you know what month it is, babe? And she says, what month did I go? Brocktober.
Is that why she's leaving you?
Probably.
Yeah.
No, probably not. There's other reasons.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, that got really fast. All right, moving on from that depression.
Real fast.
Panthers and Eagles.
Eagles.
I might go with Cam Newton on this one.
Cass and Wentz.
I'm still going to go with Cam Newton on this one.
All right.
Patriots and Bears. Probably the most interesting matchup.
Of Bears.
Really?
Nah.
How they played
I
last
got the
week against
Pats.
Miami?
Pats are too good right now.
Well, I was going to agree with you. I'm going the Bears. They're going to bounce back.
Khalil Mack is a little beat up, though. He's hobbled. I mean, he's going to play, but
he's going to bounce back.
I think it'll be a fun game, though. High scoring.
Texans and Jaguars. I'm going Jaguars.
Ooh, that's an AFC South. That's an AFC South spicy matchup right there. Woo.
I'm going Jaguars.
You got the Jags. I got the old Houston Texans.
Okay. Vikings, Jets.
Vikings, Jets. I actually think that this game could go the Jets' way. This is a tough tough matchup for the Vikings. Like, when you line up the players here, the Vikings can't really run the ball. If Dalvin Cook doesn't play, I think the Jets will win this game. No joke. I know you're looking at me like I'm dumb, but
yeah.
I was joking about the Niners beating the Rams, but I'm not joking about this one.
I'm serious about the Vikings. I know I'm picking the favorites, but sometimes
they're only a 3-point favorite. It's not an obvious.
Well, to me, it's obvious.
The bettors think that this game is going to be close.
Okay, what have the Jets done in their career in the last 10 years besides the butt fumble?
It doesn't matter about the last 10 years.
It totally does.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, Rock.
Yeah.
God, you got shorter and not less muscular. What the hell happened to you? Well, I mean, you can't really say it because the dude's massive.
I can't do my eyebrow.
The dude's massive. Anyways, Saints Ravens. I'm going Saints.
Jumanji was a good movie, by the way. What the? You said The Rock.
Completely off topic.
No, The Rock.
I know,
Rock.
but we were talking about
Saints
football.
Ravens.
We could talk about like the Gridiron Gang or whatever he was part of, like that movie. Or,
I got the Saints. Give me the Saints.
What movie was he in? He had a daughter and he was playing for a team called Boston and he was a ball hog and he was the quarterback.
I don't know, man.
You know
it's
what I'm talking about? Right? The
like
game plan.
Daddy Daycare or something.
What?
Sorry.
That's Eddie Murphy. Game plan is what I'm talking about.
All right, who do you got? Saints or Ravens?
Saints. I said that already.
Okay. All right, what's next?
Cowboys and Redskins.
Ooh, the old Cowboys and Indians, huh?
Wow, I didn't expect you to go there. I thought we were going to go past that, but okay, sure.
I mean, they're called the Redskins.
Yeah,
I didn't make the name.
That is a derogatory slur, isn't it?
No, I mean, it's the name of the team.
But it's also known as a slur.
It can be, yes. I agree with that. So, the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones boys, and Alex Smith and the Washington Redskins. Man, this is a tough game to call. I actually think the Redskins will pull this out.
Do we have a coin?
Redskins. I don't need a coin. I got my brain.
Fine, I'll also go Redskins.
You don't got a brain.
Yeah, I graduated college. Of course I have a brain.
Anybody can graduate college.
That's not true.
If you show up, you graduate.
Shut it.
Now they have online classes.
Let me be happy. Let me be proud that I graduated in 4 years. How about that?
Show up, blow up.
I graduated. You want me to show my? I'll come back on Monday with my diploma.
I bet you will.
Yeah,
I bet
probably.
it's framed in your room.
Actually, I was gonna get it framed. Why wouldn't I frame it? It's a huge accomplishment. Everyone frames their diplomas.
Just what's the next game?
It's diploma versus your diploma. My diploma wins.
Chico State in the house.
Yeah, okay. Bengals Chiefs. I'm gonna go Bengals on this one. This is. I feel.
Are
like
you effing kidding me?
This is gonna be. What did we just talk about? As soon as they're gonna lose
diplomas and Jumanji.
Okay. As soon as the Chiefs, we talked about. As soon as the Chiefs lose their first game, it's a very good chance they're gonna go downhill like a pack of wild dogs going on a sled in the Mississippi River.
That is the worst analogy I've ever heard in my life. Hold on a second. First off, why they got to be tumbling down the damn mountain?
I don't know.
Hold on.
Okay, let's be honest. I just watched The Office, and I'm at the episode of where Saber's taking over, and the lady is from Florida, and she says all these sayings and
that
analogies.
That are dumb.
And then Michael Scott goes like Mississippi tree stomp and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, I guess.
So you just said that a pack of sled dogs down a mountain in Mississippi. Do they have
the Mississippi River?
Oh, that's even better, man. Yeah, because the Mississippi River is definitely surrounded by mountains.
Yeah.
I mean,
totally.
At some point, right? The river goes all the way to Canada and stuff. So
yeah.
So there's probably some
Louisiana
mountains.
Purchase for the win.
Yeah, this is getting off the rails here. All
Anyways,
right,
where were we?
Bengals Chiefs. You said the Bengals are going to win.
I said the Bengals, and I'm serious as a Mississippi.
All right, I got the Chiefs. I don't think it's going to be close. I actually think this is going to be a game that the Chiefs win by 10 or more points. Give me that all day.
Okay. Giants and Falcons.
Oh, that's Monday night, but we can still talk about it.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry,
No. We'll wait till Monday.
The Odells against the Julios?
Yeah, we'll talk about that Monday. Sorry, I forgot it said Monday. I got so distracted by our Mississippi
pack of sled dogs in the Mississippi River down the mountain or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something to do with that.
You know what? Your homework assignment is to work on your analogies this weekend. All right?
Okay, I'll do my best as a man who hates Mike McCoy, wants him to get fired.
I don't think that when you graduated from college, you took that class. Analogy.
What class?
Analogy creating.
I'm pretty sure that's not a class.
It is.
Is it actually?
It's called creative
Creative writing?
Yes.
I took creative writing.
Oh, well,
no, actually,
apparently you didn't pass that one.
I took broadcast writing, actually.
Okay. Well, you know what? Next week, I guarantee you'll have a better analogy
I also
for me.
took reporting the news, which is actually interesting because that's what I'm doing right now.
So we should leave.
All right, we got really out of time. It's early in the morning. Let's get out of here.
If you made it this far, thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're probably a loved one of ours, to be honest. I'm
Probably
sure.
left
Yeah.
about 10 minutes
And
ago.
Probably are saying very vulgar things at us. Please just don't bring our families into it.
You're the only people listening are probably our family members.
Yeah,
now.
we love you guys.
Thanks,
too.
Mom. Appreciate the support.
And thanks, Mrs. Souza.
For what, Jeff?
No, I was talking about your wife for watching, listening.
All right. Just work on those analogies, okay?
I'll be as analogied as Mrs. Souza waiting for her husband after a long day at work.
Wow. All right.
Does that work?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. All right, we're going to call it today. We've had some fun today. We've talked about the Red Sox event to the World Series as well as the NLCS matchup. Mark looks
It's over. Just cut the cord.
Mark looks. I had to recap what we talked about, man. Mark looks very disappointed at me, and I don't blame him. We also talked about LeBron's debut in LA and a losing effort to the Blazers. We've also talked about the Thursday night football matchup between the Broncos and the Cardinals that ended very badly, and we just did our little quick predictions for Week 7 of the NFL season happening on Sunday. So we will see you on Monday because we take breaks on Saturday to watch sports. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.